You know, when we think of royal scandals, we think of the big royal scandals, don't we? The abdication of 1936, Edward and Mrs. Simpson, Princess Margaret, a woman who had endless scandals, but really did keep her sort of powder dry, you know what I mean? Never really brought the monarchy into sort of disarray. I remember though being at school and reading all about her exploits on that island. Do you remember? Mystique with the boyfriend, Roddy. Oh, seemed scandalous at the time. How tame is that today, eh? You know, when you think about it, absolutely 100% tame. And it's a little bit like, you know, the scandal now, of course, with Meghan and Harry, him writing a book and telling all of his secrets on television and stuff like that. As many people have pointed out in the comments, you know, his father, the Prince of Wales, likewise did a tell-all interview and basically was slightly disrespectful, to say the least, about his late mother. Time moves on, that's the way it goes. But of course, one of the biggest scandals of the 1980s was none other than this. A royal It's a Knockout. Oh yes, do you remember this? Now, for me, you see, Prince Edward, as he will always be known, I know he's the Duke of Edinburgh, does a terrific job now, and completely, if you think, rehabilitated himself as a person. Not that he needed it, but, you know, people view him rather more differently. And at 60 years old, it's hard to imagine, isn't it? Things are totally different. But way back when, of course, he tried different things, including wanting to work behind the scenes for the really useful company at the time, Andrew Lloyd Webber, famously pictured with a box of tea on his first day because apparently he was the tea boy. That was never going to happen, right? And then he had to go at the Royal Marines, didn't really like that. And so consequently, he thought this was a good idea. This was just prior to him teaming up to make his own TV production company with a man related to the pop star, her father in fact, Sophie Ellis Bextor. You see how things go around now. Now, here's where it gets really interesting because, according to a well-placed source, they were having a long chat with the Duke of Edinburgh, Prince Edward, recently, and talking about that particular time and saying how difficult it was and, you know, he didn't think he could come back from it because all he was trying to do was a charitable event and enjoy something that he wanted to put together, utilising, of course, the celebrity contacts. And let's not forget, Princess Anne, the Princess Royal, supported him, as did Prince Andrew and Fergie, the Duchess of York. So he had a lot of big backing, but it very quickly went disarray. People mocked it. This was kind of just before, if you like, reality TV, where it became more acceptable. I think in today's climate, people, it wouldn't cause a ripple. And it's fascinating conversation because according to that source, Prince Edward, you see, who always keeps his own powder dry, as I've said, lovely, lovely man. But he bottom line said that, well, according to him, Harry and Meghan had a rather checkered time of it recently, as ever very diplomatic and as ever allegedly. But he didn't think it could be the end, simply because what happened to him with It's a Royal Knockout, he felt that, well, for a long time, people would never accept him back. And then he said in the fullness of time, people sort of looked at it again and thought, well, actually, was it truly that bad? Every time you're looking at the worst reality TV hits of the whatever, you know, century, it's always wheeled out. But he said now he can look back on that with great experience, a lot of fun, and actually remember what he was trying to do. But he understands that the people around him at that point, the people particularly in the media, did not want the royals and reality crossing over, and that caused something of a scandal. So according to the Duke of Edinburgh, whichever way you look at it, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex will simply, as ever, be very diplomatic. All not could be lost, as it were. And let's not forget, on their very final engagement, it was those, particularly him, that actually tried to make an effort to be at least civil. Either way, fascinating insight, don't you think? Neil Sean in the very heart of London.